I almost didn't wear the tie because I got the blue buttons underneath. But I said, you know what?
Whatever.
I'm on with respectful young man, Stephen A. Let me wear the tie.
I got a surprise for you, Dan Orlovsky.
Come on.
I got a surprise for you. You in trouble, brother.
You think you're the only one?
Roll the tape.
You don't win a season at the beginning of October. It's about getting better each and every week.
Heavy grind. Yeah, this is dedication. This is blood, sweat. This is how I really made it.
As far as being 4-0, go 1-0 each and every week.
You can't stop the pressure.
We got to continue to build on this culture.
I'm on another level.
Sky's the limit. We just got to keep it going.
It's the biggest game that we got. The next game.
Good day. It is Friday Eve, like you like to call it, from Lala, Mr. Smith.
What's going
in
on?
the sunshine.
What's
How
going
are we
on?
feeling?
How y'all
Are you
doing?
having fun out here?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're enjoying yourself?
Life is comfortable.
Okay.
Life is comfortable. The sunshine. It was about 85 degrees yesterday, and it's expected to be similar today. So I'm good.
Okay. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm great. 85 degrees in the middle of October sounds terrible, though. We're at like a nice 58 to 62 here in Connecticut. Feels like fall. We got the leaves changing. It feels like football at 85 in October. That's not what it's like.
He's going apple picking later, pumpkin
somebody
picking.
that's in Connecticut would say that.
Yeah, I love it.
My home state.
Yeah,
That's
you
where
know
my
it,
heart
Miles.
is, though.
You know it.
I know. No, I do love it. But
Are y'all interested in going back?
But my
interested in going back?
but my tan is real nice.
That's right.
All right, let's keep going. Stephen A., you cannot complain about this Thursday night football matchup, sir. We got the 3-1 Rams facing the 2-2 Seahawks. Matthew Stafford looking to bounce back after the loss to the Chargers. Seattle trying to build on their momentum after taking down the Niners. Now, while the Seahawks have made the postseason in 8 of Russell Wilson's first 9 NFL seasons, they've struggled to get over the hump since losing Super Bowl 49 to New England. In that span, Seattle failed to make it beyond the divisional round, posting a 3-5 record in those games. Dan, talk to me. Has Russell Wilson plateaued in Seattle?
Russell Wilson has plateaued in Seattle, but it's not because of Russell Wilson. Now, Russell Wilson has reached the peak, right? He's reached the pinnacle. He's won a Super Bowl. But Russell Wilson's plateau as a player in the last 3 years is 105 touchdowns and 25 picks. They've gone 11-5, 12-4, 10-6. So, yeah, he has absolutely plateaued. But his plateau is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, top 6 quarterback in the NFL. Have the Seahawks plateaued Russell Wilson, or has he plateaued because of that organization? Absolutely. I have been on record. I think the Seahawks have absolutely failed Russell Wilson over the last 5 or 6 years. Name me the one impactful. I can name you one impactful player in the last 3 or 4 years out of their draft. DK Metcalf in 2019. We could go 2 and go Tyler Lockett 2016. Those are the only 2 impactful guys that the Seattle Seahawks have drafted in the last 5 years for Russell Wilson. There's been some good players here and there, but no one that's impactful like a DK or Tyler Lockett. And so Russell Wilson, you're not going to get much better quarterback play than what he has given you over the last 4 or 5 seasons. It just doesn't exist. And the fact that they've been a really good team, but not great, not NFC Championship, not Super Bowl appearance great, yes, he's plateaued there. And I think it's a realistic question. We heard the conversation this offseason that he was unhappy about some stuff. And so if they're going to continue to be a really good team, and he's going to throw for another 35-plus touchdowns, but not be good enough, he's got to ask himself, have I reached my kind of greatest, have I gone as far as I can go with Seattle? And is there a different situation for me in the future? Because the organization has not supported him in the totality of the football team, in the greatness of the football team. They've picked some good receivers, but yeah, Russell Wilson has plateaued in Seattle.
Oh, cry me a river. I mean, you got to be kidding me, man. Listen. When you say what you say, theoretically, from the perspective of his stats and what have you, I get where you're coming from. Right now, he's completing 72% of his passes. He's fresh off a throw of 40 touchdowns to 13 interceptions last year. The 125 and 25 in terms of TD to interception ratio. I get all of that. And they've been to the playoffs the last 3 years. They lost to the Dallas Cowboys. Don't get me started. 3 years ago. 2 years ago, it was to Green Bay. Last year, it was to the Los Angeles Rams. I get all of that. But I would remind you, Dan Orlovsky, they go to the Super Bowl and lose the Super Bowl when? This was in 2014. And from that moment forward, they handed the franchise over to Russell Wilson.
Right.
You got to remember, you got beast mode that's balling out. All right, you decide not to give him the ball at the half-yard line after he got you there. You gave the ball to Russell Wilson. He throws the interception to Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. From that moment on, obviously, the Legion of Boom just dissipated before our very eyes. You hand the franchise to Russell Wilson. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have, because I'm saying he's big time.
Yeah.
He's big time. But when we ask the question about plateauing, when we ask the question about peaking, you didn't listen. The man went to back-to-back Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl championship. It don't get much better than that. Now he's 32, 33 years of age. It ain't going to get much better than what it once was. But you did go to him and hand him the franchise. Not just the money. You basically said, listen, it's your franchise. We're going to ride with you. Last couple of years, you got DK Metcalf. You got Tyler Lockett. You got Carson in the backfield.
How's the defense?
Excuse me. Yeah, the defense is suspect. The defense, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, we live in the age of a hard cap. You got a guy in Russell Wilson that you want to take care of. I'm saying yes, Molly. The fact is, we could say what we say about Russell Wilson with Seattle, we could say about a lot of other dudes. We've had conversations about Aaron Rodgers. Who's been going off about Aaron Rodgers and the lack of support that he's had for years? I got news for you. Seattle, at times, their defense looked better than Green Bay's. We weren't saying that about Aaron Rodgers. We didn't let him off the hook. So why would we do that for Russell Wilson?
But Russell Wilson has 9 pass TDs, 0 interceptions. Stephen A., their team has the worst time of possession in the NFL.
Talk to
they
him,
haven't
Molly.
even had the ball to do anything.
Talk to him.
Excuse me. They're 2-2. They're 2-2 right now. You are the franchise quarterback. I'm not saying everything is on you, but most of it is going to be. When you make the noise that you made in the offseason, when you sit up there and you look at Pete Carroll and you talk to him about buffering your offensive line, that's what the conversation was. We didn't hear Russell Wilson say anything about that defense. We didn't hear him saying anything about making sure you buffer us on the offensive side of the ball by making sure everything else is taken care of. He wanted to take care of himself. I'm not knocking him, because if you're the quarterback and you behind center, Dan Orlovsky, I certainly don't mind, and I have no problem with you saying, excuse me, protect me, damn it, I'm getting beat up here.
Sure.
I get all of that. But all of these other things that we want to bring up, Russell Wilson had an opportunity to bring that up. All he brought up was the offensive line. That's all he said anything about. That's it. Am I lying about that?
No, this offseason, that was, but he said he wanted more impact or input when it came to player acquisition. Yes. It was very much so focused on the offensive line. This is where you're wrong, because you make the comment, Stephen A., of they gave him the organization once they decided to pay him, as they should have, 100%. Now, when you do that in the NFL, it is incumbent on you as an organization to draft well, because you're going to have less capital to make up for some of those missed draft picks. If you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, you know why the Kansas City Chiefs are in such a great situation after paying Patrick Mahomes? Because they're going to continue to draft well. Do you want to know why the Buffalo Bills will be in a great situation? Because they continue to draft well. Do you want to know why the Baltimore Ravens will be fine once they pay Lamar Jackson? Because their organization will draft well. And that's why Russell Wilson, after this offseason, saying, you know what? I'm not happy with some of the input that I have here, or we're not winning enough games. We're good, but we're not good enough. Because the organization decided, well, Russell, we'll pay you all this money. I'm not going to say decided, but they paid him all that money, but then they have failed to do the number job. Once you pay your quarterback, is you better hit on your draft picks. And they've hit twice in the last 5, Stephen A. That's not going to cut it. And so a quarterback
I'm not saying it would. I'm saying you can't let Russell Wilson off the hook in terms of his culpability and all of that. That's all I'm saying.
But off the hook, Stephen A., he's thrown for 105 touchdowns
I'm not
and 20.
talking about his performance.
This is what I think.
I'm talking about the organization.
I want to hold on here.
Sure.
I think it's fair to hold it against him that he took the money, so maybe they can't get the people around him, but it's certainly not his play why they're losing. Dan, I want to ask you this. Which quarterback would you rather have, though? Because obviously they're playing the Rams tonight, a great Thursday night football matchup. Would you rather have Russell Wilson, Dan, because you're really making a strong case for Wilson. So I'm assuming you're going to go Wilson, or are you going to go Detroit, Matthew Stafford?
I'm going to go